It's going to be a wave.
I mean, last time Faker played... Okay, you know, we would talk a little bit about... Is Faker going to get the POGs? You know, what would have to happen? Are the team going to set him up? His last Hwei performance, he got the POG, and he honestly just kind of steamrolled the entire game.
So there we go. He's after Chovy. See whether he can actually equalize those points.
Yep, and you know, you may think, oh, it's Lucian Nami for the Nami to buff the Lucian. No. Carrier will buff Faker, and then Owner and Zeus, their job is to hold people still.
Yes.
So we can hit them. That's how it's going to work, all in unison. DRX, I think that top side is fine. I do think the Trist might have a bit of a sad time.
Ref for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Oh man. T1 fans, extraordinarily loud. We are on the T1 side of LOL Park right now, and we have headsets on, and I was still in a bit of trouble. Speaking of trouble, Sponge down to 300 health as Faker's painting some auto attacks his way.
Got the Mana Flow Band Stack, I believe, so...
Oh, nailing it.
Oh.
Rascal has some friends, but Owner, I believe, doubled back for a moment there.
I'm a strong believer in just, no matter what role you are, just walk towards mid-level 1 and just fish for a Mana Flow Band Stack, you know, get a stacking in.
Yep, 100% agree.
Take the extra mana.
Stacks are dopamine. That's what we figured.
That is something we very heavily established this season of the LPL. If you've, you know, been watching, or maybe you've missed some days and you're like, what's the takeaway for this regular season?
Is it we established it in the LCK as well? Because you just mentioned that we established it in the LPL.
Why did I say that?
I don't know. But
LCK.
It was established in the LPL.
Just TP'd in.
Yeah. A little bit of a worry. That was a really nice smite there from Sponge, able to actually take away this bub from a Rel. Pretty important. Owner will be able to get one for himself, so it's not the end of the world, but he is tanking this, and Faker is going to have to come on over here. Does have the ulti, not going to find it, as Sponge has to flash to get himself out of the way, and in fact, Faker didn't actually use the ultimate at all. Just a whole lot of other buttons were pressed.
Yep. So Sponge flashing away from that one was actually pretty heavily winning the 1v1 against Owner in that situation.
The way that we win, and that's how it sort of worked. Sponge coming on over to help DRX out as Owner thinking about finding an opportunity, and there is a fantastic Magnet Storm into a double bubble from Carrier. Gumayusi now dashing in. Teddy explodes as Faker's ultimate goes off, and that is first blood for the Lucian, and Faker able to pick one up on the back end of that one as well, and DRX just a little bit baffling. Just didn't quite work out.
I mean, it's really nice engage from Owner, but DRX were kind of just like waiting for it to happen. Time and time again, you know, you clump up against a Rel, you're going to get punished for it very swiftly, and they absolutely just decided that they weren't going to abide by social distance in that one.
No, absolutely not. Faker as well, 20 CS lead off the back end of that one at the same time. I think a POG performance from the gentleman in the mid lane. What do you reckon?
You know, people have been pre-voting already, so I think it's...
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say. You might say that Owner's Engage was absolutely fantastic or something like that, but no. I think it is. It's still well minutes into the game. 3.5 on the next Dragon. As Owner's coming up towards his top side now. This guy's sort of everywhere this game, as Rascal does throw down the Dominus, but he's still losing so much of his health bar. Crash down comes on in alongside the Magnet Storm, as Rascal does have the ability to slice his way out. Eventually, the wave is going to be thinned. Sponge moves in. That is going to be a couple of the bubs going to be taken out here, as I think Pletter was just having a look at what was going on there with the Grand Entrance.
You know, that was the closest I felt to, oh, maybe, no, they don't have something. Back to just farming in the bot lane.
Yep. As at least Yehu's able to shove a minion wave. At this point in time, 3,000 gold and change is going to be the lead here, as now Sponge looking for Faker. He's just going to wander northward, but Yehu is going to be able to find that angle. There is a twisted advance in, and the explosive charge is going to be enough. Yehu locks that one down, so there's the first kill for DRX.
If Cassiopeia doesn't need a buy,
I know, right?
Why does Nami?
Yeah.
We need some consistency there.
And you might ask the question like, well, why doesn't, what about Aurelion Sol, you know? And stuff
what about Corki?
But he has little feet, you know?
Yeah, I guess Corki has little feet in his lane.
Exactly. There are feet in the plane.
You're not supposed to drive
barefoot, yeah.
Yeah. Although maybe he's wearing Crocs when he drives.
Where Nami can get some movement speed scaling like Cassiopeia does. I think it would just make thematic sense.
Yeah, Teddy and Platter.
Well, maybe just not picking Xayah recovers.
Yeah, it comes back to the draft. I just don't know what you're supposed to do now with the situation.
Oh, right. Yeah. And that is what we really should focus on.
Yeah.
Well, Zeus is now parking himself towards the bottom side of the map. He's going to start clearing out this Grom. And Gumayusi jumps underneath the turret. Teddy is at least going to be able to avoid a lot of that damage.
Guys, you shouldn't be opting into a fight, DRX.
They do get a lot of vision down. There's a teleport in from the Renekton as well, as Faker not able to get any sort of snare onto him. And Rift Herald is just going to be given up. They're going to respect the teleport, because of course Zeus, he can't follow. It was a little bit too far away for a, I guess it's a level 2 Destiny Gate. Still, he is all the way in the bottom lane, and so Rift Herald is just going to be sacrificed. And understandably so. We haven't really seen Rift Heralds do all that much. Just
sad.
Another fact to be thrown out.
I mean, I think we get it, right?
Yeah, he's very, very strong. And now he's going to demonstrate that by throwing this culling into Sponge. Not exactly the primary target, as Faker landing a lot of damage here. The interruption not going to be available onto Yehu. Does safely rocket jump his way out. A lot of testing the waters here for T1, trying to find an angle, trying to get in there, and all the while just getting more things around the map.
Yeah, I will say, kind of a good advertisement for Frozen Heart with how fed this Lucian is, and the fact that
just for old time's sake. Goodbye. For old time's sake. Just to remind everyone that you have been so incredibly good for at least today.
Just show them what I could have been, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Could have been a full day of Chemtech Drakes. Like I believe we actually had only a few weeks ago. As Yehu should be able to get the first turret for DRX. That is certainly good news.
Yeah, obviously Tristana Great taking down those towers, and T1 had kind of moved that pressure down towards the Dragon. Faker been clearing waves on the top side, he moves mid, Guma moves towards Dragon, they get that.
That's Soul Point, just for nothing there, as Grand Entrance comes in, good battle dance from Fleta. Get himself out of the way of the tidal wave, but still Gumayusi takes half of Teddy's health bar by just pressing his R button. And so that's just free Soul Point.
Yeah, no real contest, and now they're trying to put the Herald down mid.
They succeed.
But it's difficult to really follow up and...
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, well, Teddy is just going to charge the turret. Let's see how he's going to do. As there's a Feather Storm, that gets him up there, as Owner was kind of baited into this one. He will go down as the first kill, but Sponge is traded off as well. Destiny's going to come forward, and Rascal, yeah, he is just dead. It's a double kill for the Twisted Fate. Zeus not finished just yet. He could see some low health bars, and he just caught up to Gumayusi's build 6 minutes later. He finished his rapid fire cannon, wanted to put it to use.
Unless I got it. This is why they picked Xayah, because that's the only AD carry who you could send into that situation and not immediately have them get one shot.
Was it? I believe it may have been in error. That is moving in. They do spot the fact that the Tristana is down here, is now Faker. Not going to find too much. Ulti is going to be thrown over as Yehu just dives on in. There's the flash forward. Quickness comes down, and Faker is just going to be eliminated. That's a kill for Yehu, so something on the other side of the Rift here is T1. Speaking of the other side of the Rift, they're going to see two people in the bottom lane and say it's Baron time.
Yeah, and you know, essentially with the Twisted Fate there, they have 2 AD carries, so it is going down fairly quickly.
Extremely quickly. For 21.5 minutes, kind of ludicrous, but now Sponge is making his way forward. Tidal Wave is going to get a lot of value as the Feather Storm comes out, and now the Magnet Storm is going to catch Teddy, and he is just obliterated. Gumayusi so much damage as he's dashing after the Renekton as well. They kept the Baron leashed, and they're going to look for that one now as T1. The foot is never coming off the gas this game.
Yep, and the thing is, I actually like the play DRX went on the bot side.
Oh, you got to try and get something, but oh my god, okay. There's all 3 of those kills going over to the Lucian.
You got to try and get something, but the problem is...
With all of that damage that he has, Quick Blades completed already as item number 3 at 22 minutes.
Interesting, we often see like...
Okay, ulti going to connect onto Sponge here. The Unending Despair is named pretty well here for DRX right now, but Sponge is going to be able to keep himself alive, even able to walk back and get a bit of extra health from that redemption, but it's not going to save this inhibitor turret. T1 going to be able to break that one open. They've got 5 Void Grubs as well, and so the little mites helping take down these structures, so they are going to be able to break open the base. Look for a bit of a reset angle.
Yeah, running low on the
wasn't even on the screen. It's so unfair. As now Renekton. Oh my god, Rascal taking so much damage. Does get a decent amount of health back with the Call the Meek, but he is still really dead. And Carrier now chasing after Faker, who's running real quick. Nature grasping at T1, but Faker is just going to say, no, thank you, Mr. Tree. And Sponge is going to join his Crocodile. Now a couple of 80 carries and a Rakan is all that's left of DRX to try and help this one. Shattering Strike onto Pleta, but not going to really do too much there. And T1 lost interest in the Dragon. They're just going to take this inner turret while they can.
Yep, instead of opting just to peel away, take the objective, they can keep pressuring, you know, using these sideways really effectively. Often it's Zeus pushing the wave in, the rest of them rotate over. And DRX probably just hoping they can go to game 2 at this point.
Yeah, and the inhibitor turret going to be taken down. Inhibitor will follow there as well. Yes, just not really too many answers the DRX have. Not too many. At least be here to try and contest this Soul. As Pleta doesn't land onto Gumayusi, he doesn't even need to use the flash, just Relentless Pursuit necessary to get himself out of the way, as Faker going to connect some damage onto Sponge. Good twisted advance to avoid the Light Slinger from Gumayusi. And T1, they will regain control around this Dragon. Control ward in the pit though, for DRX. There's at least that, as Zeus is just splitting. So this could be Soul denied. No, it's not. So the Soul is... Okay, never mind. Still up and available. I thought the Dragon's health bar was going down very low, but that was a control ward, so
okay,
never mind.
so Rascal's actually come back here, but I think he loses that 1v1 pretty hard.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a worry here, as Faker is going to be pushed back into DRX. He will be taken down first off, as Pleta somehow survives, but Sponge not going to be so lucky. And yeah, that 1v1 like you were talking about, the Twist Fate's going to take that, as Bubble going to be avoided, but that is Featherstorm now on cooldown for Teddy. He has to be very, very careful, as Yahoo diving forward, trying to find Gumayusi, who is just going to flash his way out. The Destiny going to be utilized, as back in base, they're trying to defend against this Twisted Fate, and Yahoo, he's going to be put into the bubble prison. Owner is going to take the Soul. Pleta will die as these cards do find him, and he will take down the Nexus. T1, an absolute flattening of DRX in game number 1.
Yeah, in a very roundabout way in which the game was finished, you know, with the backdoor, not even needing to pick up the Soul, be that Quirky in the mid lane. So I think DRX's composition's better. You know, I do think that the mid and top lane matchups are going to be pretty good for T1. But, you know, it's a scaling mid-jungle from T1. I think DRX have given themselves better tools. Whether that's enough for them to translate this into a win is a different question.
Yeah, for me, it actually does look like at least DRX has a time of the game where they can fight, right? They're going to hit a great mid-game spike that they can try to fight around, maybe get themselves the second Drake, third Drake, something like that, and get themselves into the game. Of course, the ultra late game will belong to T1 almost exclusively. It's going to be very...
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Okay, you could hear some lingering in the DRX chants there, trying to make their voices known to their team so they can have a better performance here in game number 2. See whether it is actually going to be enough to do so.
Yeah, I think they certainly will have a better performance than in game 1 because the bar is very low.
Yeah, it is definitely low.
Yeah. Well, that's the positive you can take away from this one, that it would struggle to be worse than game 1. But still, as we said, I think there's a lot of draft elements that are better here for DRX, a lot more agency in the mid-game, and potential to at least try and make things happen. I think ultimately top lane, there's not a ton you can do as Aatrox against TF unless TF makes mistakes or you find a good angle. Mid lane, I hope to see Yahoo, who has been a good addition to this roster. I hope to see him make his impact known on the map. If you're into a Quirky, you definitely should. Bot lane's a big question mark for me, because we've seen lanes like Aphelios Lulu really bully out in the 2v2, and when it's Guma carrier, it's intimidating to go up against. So it's something we've talked about with DRX, is that bot lane has kind of been the strongest point. Entire game on a level 3 dive.
Yeah, and Teddy, see, trying to make this one happen. There is the crash down on top of Gumayusi, who does eventually flash. That is going to keep him alive, as now Owner is making his way in, and Sponge is extraordinarily low. The Bramble Smash does push him away, but they're looking to turn it. Flash out from Owner is Teddy. Oh, he doesn't find the double tap, and there's the flash out from Carrier. Everyone is so incredibly low, as Pleta, he really wants to do it, but it's just not going to happen. Look at this, sub 100 health for both of these bottom laners. and Ona can't do anything about it because he's also excruciatingly low. Yep, the Hex Flash over as Sponge makes his way in. There it is! The crash down to interrupt it as well, but Teddy is also going to die. So it's a 1-for-1, and First Blood does go over to DRX. There is that. Here we go, Sponge. Start charging it up as Jonas Strong turns it off, and there we go. The crash down on top of him, straight into the bubble, and Teddy, he's going to be able to pick up the kill this time around.
This is what I'm talking about. You know, a good return gank. You know, all the summoners are down. DRX actually making things happen. Crazy how the game plays out when you don't pick Zyracon.
That is, in fact, the takeaway.
You want the game to be going in.
Yep, precisely. Good start. You can see towards the top side of the map, Zeus is making a lot of money. That's why you see T1 with still a gold advantage. Sponge, though, going to be able to utilize the Rel in order to take a Void Bub. Full information over to T1, as you can see, with the ward in the pit, but not going to be able to do anything about it. And you've got Ono moving towards the bottom side. He may actually just start off this Hex Tech Drake, as we do have a Chem Tech for today's Soul in this particular game, as Faker not going to find that rocket. There is now Sponge continuing his rampage on the Rift, going to get a Valkyrie out. And T1 actually going to back away from this, not wanting to do this Drake with Sponge in the area. He's just too scary.
Yep, I mean, he has so much potential to steal it on the Rel.
Turned into a critter, that polymorph, but a little bit late. Damage had kind of been done. Still, going to lose out on the trade.
They get the barrier from Guma, so I think DRX are fine with that. They'll be able to sustain back up with Platter's healing. But that health is still low now, and they are doing the Dragon. Sponge should just be able to secure this.
Yep. Shattering Strike comes in. That's going to lock that one down. So Ona in position. Doesn't actually do too much about it as Yahoo. Really good trade. Mentioned the barrier from earlier. That is on cooldown, but actually an even trade in the end, as Teddy just trades for the culling.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Tidal Wave actually going to be utilized here as Carrier is in so much trouble. Piercing Light comes down. That is going to be Teddy locking down the kill onto the Lulu, and no Rel required for that one, really. Jat reminded me of it earlier on today. As Ona sidestepping really nicely, crash down on top of him, but there's the charm to come on through from Yahoo. Ona did utilize the Twisted Fate, the Twisted Advance quite well, but now it's Sponge that's in trouble, and Faker, he delivers a package, has to flash out immediately, but the Tidal Wave not going to be enough there as the Maokai picks up the kill, and Teddy has to cleanse and flash to get himself the heck out of this one. Somehow T1 keep themselves alive.
Ends up being a huge misplay from DRX, just opting for the fight. Sponge misses the Q, still goes for the play anyway, but you're approaching such a dangerous position on the map, you know, going into that choke where you don't have vision as well. It was so easy for T1 to defensively fight from there, and then the package comes in as well.
And look at this, it's exactly as promised. Thank you so much. Chemtech Drake going to come on through for the Soul. Minutes into the game, Mandate was done. You've got the first item spike for Teddy. Doesn't get much better than this.
Just step one, don't focus Maokai as your first target. Step two, don't engage into a sort of choke where the enemy carries are so safe over the wall.
Yeah. And then don't get hit by every single button, and don't do it while Faker has package.
Yeah, a lot of ifs.
Yeah, there's a few things that you have to take into account, but once you do that, it's be all right.
That's just League of Legends, you know? You have to take a few things into account. Bish, bash, bosh, and you're good. Yeah. You know? But clearly slipped their mind a little bit.
The where good part didn't actually occur.
Yeah.
That bit didn't work out. As at least Sponge going to be able to take the Rift Herald. And in fact, I think Carrier has gone for Dreammaker more than a lot of our other supports, if I remember correctly. Alright, Ona is going to get a Magnet Storm out and is just going to take a massive amount of damage and die. Yeah, that's pretty good work here for DRX. Not a lot to fight for in the river towards its bottom side, so Ona probably just wasn't expecting the whole gang to be down here. As Zeus finding a gold card onto Rascal.
Yeah, they catch him isolated, and also when...
Oh, not going to get the sweet spot on the second Q, and may just get autoed to death. There we go. Zeus going to lock that one up. That's a solo kill. As Charm, not going to be utilized, as Yahoo didn't find the angle between the minions onto Gumayushi. And we are going to see Rel charge the Rift Herald towards the inner turret, so that's a fair bit of Herald value, actually, as Teddy doing a lot of work onto Carrier as well.
I was pretty critical of the Herald usage we've had today, but that was a pretty good one. Managing to pick on Ona, paid off a lot. They do suffer on the top side, and T1 have the Banana Rush control.
Oh, that is imperative.
To start laying down poke from.
Well, we do have the Scryer's Bloom, but it's actually Zeus that takes that one away from Yahoo, misses the charm. It's just been so incredibly swift. As okay, there's the steal. Sponge likely to die, but he's done his job. And there we go. Lockdown does come on through. Fans pretty psyched about how DRX are playing this one out, at least in the stealing dragons aspect. Faker with a package to deliver. But unfortunately, DRX just not home to really pick... Oh, never mind. They're just in their summer home in the mid lane. And Rascal is going to suffer the wrath of the deliveries.
Yep, great move by T1.
Zeus here as they're still looking to chase after. There's the Flash Magnet Storm as Yahoo is going to get immediately CC'd as he dives in. And now Sponge is in trouble. Gumyushi has red-white, and that is a dangerous time. Teddy now below 100 health. As the Destiny does come on in, and Yahoo, he's not going to survive. The Destiny doesn't really do too much as far as gate value, but still T1 going to move towards the Baron, as they love to do at 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I mean, the fact they only got one kill isn't really the difference maker, but the fact everyone is chunked out, you know, there's an opportunity to go for this Baron. You can see Sponge moving over, but still low HP.
Oh, he is very dangerous, though, as far as steals are concerned. Still slowed down by the sapling as Faker wanting to get him out of this pit. And he's set up, does have the extra movement speed as well. They do have the scuttle control, and Nature's Grasp says that there is no way they're stopping this Baron from going down. So T1, give him an inch and they will take a Baron every single time. Deliver carrier Gumyushi towards this bottom lane. Zeus was pressuring the top lane. Rascal now up there by himself as Sponge and Teddy trying to convince Owner to leave the junk. Oh my god, this damage onto Teddy. It's getting a little bit silly. He's going to have to try and cull to stop them from doing any more damage to this inner turret as Owner suffers at least 2/3 of his health bar as all the connection of the moonshot.
Yeah, Faker actually going to Clips first rather than the Malignant we typically see.
Oh, kind of nutty is. Okay, Zeus just going to avoid the charm and just wanders his way out. He's so incredibly fast. The Infernal Chains do not activate, and they finally... Oh, never mind. Okay, there it is. The third Q going to come on through. It took 4 people, not the 3 they initially invested, as now Rascal could be in trouble. Good Bramble Smash, but there's the crash down onto Owner as well. Still, the Moonshot. What's the Moonlight Vigil? That's the one.
Moonlight Vigil.
The big old ultimate from Gumyushi did a fair bit of work. And T1 able to at least convince them to leave. Still, it is an advantage for DRX. They get rid of Zeus.
Yeah, but it just feels kind of crazy how much had to be invested for him to finally go down. The value on that Ghost, pretty massive.
Oh, sorry, yes. He's also got a bell.
Yep. All bells and whistles put together, and you see DRX, I mean, the fact they got that dragon earlier kind of takes away the pressure of wanting to secure all these dragons. They'll just lean top instead, look to take a tower. The problem is, I don't think the game as it goes on. So sure, you know, by taking a dragon, you extend the game, you extend the soul timer, but Sponge can make it from there.
Yeah.
Baron with Flash and his W, but Carrier's looking.
Yeah, they do have control vision in this area as Sponge finds himself a decent Shattering Strike. There's the package out from Faker. That is going to block them off entirely, and Sponge is thrown around like a ragdoll. There's the Moonlight Vigil. That's going to connect onto him as the Baron. Oh, that's going to be the cue to follow it up. As now Teddy looking for Faker here. He finds him, but I don't know whether he really wants to, as the Rockets not going to find the mark. Good sidestep there from Teddy as Destiny comes through just for the extra vision. The Mega Blast Cone gets them all the way away from this Baron. And Zeus, he turns up. That is going to be a gold card from a million miles away and a couple of screens. He is going to just transition into picking up the kill onto both of the damage dealers of DRX. I guess Rascal is going to be there, but he is not actually there. And T1 just going to push towards this inhibitor turret in the mid lane. I felt like that play was going to work, but I didn't know it was going to work that well, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the angle from Sponge. I love that they tried to turn it into a fight instead of just going for the immediate play, but it was just so hard for them to find an avenue there.
Faker raining down these rockets here as Pleta going to have to get out of there. Does flash. And DRX just, if they just stand here and take these rockets, it is just going to be really difficult to defend this. And the first Nexus turret is going to go down. One siege minion remains, so they're not actually able to stand in range of the... he's going to try his hand. Okay, and Tidal Wave is beautiful, but doesn't really do anything at all. DRX now just looking for Soul Point. If they can possibly get it. Zeus is going to say, no, you're not allowed to have that, as the charm goes entirely wide, and Zeus just does so much damage. There is the twisted advance forward from Owner, and Redemption going to come on through as well. Faker collects the kill onto the Nami that was delivered, and Sponge going to jump over his own base gate. Zeus just, as soon as he has that gold card above his head, he is so incredibly scary. And there it is. Stun going to come down onto Sponge, but wildcards do not connect. Not that they really do all that much damage anyway. 4 items Twisted Fate is pretty silly.
Yeah, he has Infinity Edge as well, so you know if you take a lot of autos from him, he'll hit, but he just chunks now.
Yeah, well, there's a Magnet Storm trying to do something here, but Ona not too worried about it, as we can see, and Sponge is just going to be taken down pretty unceremoniously. Zeus now looking for Rascal here as well as he's tanking up the turret, and the Nexus is just going to go down. T1 with a very comfortable 2-0 to move them towards playoffs here. And they are going to just take a little bit of a timeout in the first round as they have confirmed second.